this machine, the normal rule, since it's a water-based coating, use solvent prints with it. Now, some equal solvents work, some UV prints work, but for the normal rule is if it's solvent, it works with the aqueous-based coating. This is a roll-to-roll machine. It has to be on a roll on a 3-inch bore to use. Okay? This machine goes about 2 to 7 feet a minute comfortably, for the most part. Usually you're on the low side of that. You put your core with your roll on this front unwind shaft. You bring it up over this idler here. It goes through the machine under the dryer, and then wraps up on the back on the take-up unit. Okay.
This is a nice feature. As you lower that, because the webbing is just a straight shot. As you lower this,
it brings it down to running position.
You have more tension there.
It brings it down and creates your thrust area.
So the most important part of this machine is this Meyer bar here. This is what applies.
This is the Meyer bar.
This is the Meyer bar. That's what applies to coating. Another reason why we lay it back is so you can clean it. Because after every roll, first thing you do, you drop everything and you clean it. First thing. If this gets coating in it, it won't look nice. It won't look nice at all. Your prints, they won't be streaky. Because how water-based works is through these gaps, it lets the coating through and then beads back together. So if these are all messed up or you have big chunks, then you're not going to look very good.
How do you clean this?
Just once a week you power wash it, but for the most part you just take water and wash it right off.
Okay.
Right after you're done.
Right after you're done.
Right after you're done. Because if it gets hard, then you have to use a lot more elbow grease.
Okay.
So you bring it through, and then you wrap it up. It comes under the heater. The heater is 2 parts. It has this top part here that's the airflow. It's a fan that pushes through this ceramic holes. Then you have your 3 heaters here.
IR.
The heaters is what actually dries the water out of the liquid or out of your coating, but the airflow is very important. If you don't have both, it just doesn't dry it good. And now, and what happens is that's how you regulate how fast you're going. Because your coating is 70% water, that's what you're trying to get rid of. That's why it has to go so slow. Then you have on the bottom here, underneath, you have the cooling fans. Those cooling fans is what also helps take the final out.
An important feature this year. I'd like to explain that.
That sensor there points on your core, on your roll. And what it does, it allows the machine to travel the same speed no matter how big the roll is.
In other words, when you start off, it starts off as a small diameter. As the material accumulates, the diameter gets bigger. If it were not for that sensor, so will your travel speed through get faster as the diameter gets bigger.
So that sensor allows it to slow the motor down as you go.
Perfect. Okay.
Our machine also, the coating delivery system is on this side here. It has a tank that fills up with coating, and then you just pour the coating through this. It screens it, goes into there, and then there's also a pump in there that pumps it up onto the top of your print. And this is what we call a flood coater, because it applies the coating to the top of your print, and then the Meyer bar takes it down to where it needs to.
A couple of neat little features. We have an agitator in the tank to turn it on. It can also agitate the liquid.
So it stirs it.
And also we have a sensor that senses the level of liquid left, so it'll warn your operator when it's time to refill. Neat feature when you're,
Oh, question, yeah.
When you're busy. More than half left to run through.
And it tells you loud. It screams at you.
Is this hands-free operation when it's working? I mean, can I do something? Can I let this go on and start laminating manually, or do I have to stand here and watch it?
You don't have to stand there and watch it, but you need to be close by.
Be close?
Yeah. Anytime you have liquid working, you should be close by.
All right.
Once in a while, just to look at it.
Just check it, make sure one, it's not burning because it's hot material, and two, make sure you have enough liquid.
What temperature does this heater work at?
120 degrees Celsius.
That's hot.
Now, just to sort of back up, I hate to. You asked a good question if an operator needs to be here. If it were not for this sensor, then it would be a lot more operator intensive.
You have to adjust the speed all the time.
Speed, measure the temperature, adjust the temperature, and all that to keep it consistent. This really takes a lot of operator labor out of it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How about power requirements?
This one is 40 amp, I believe, 220 volts. It can be in three-phase.
Can be in three-phase. Okay.
So the three-phase does lower it. I'm not sure what it is because we don't sell it here in the United States.
And I would have to check on the lead times because of that.
All right.
Yeah.
How about a jet mounter 63?
Right here.
How many amps?
This is the Shaw, so this doesn't have a heater, so it just plugs into a regular plug.
Actually, it will have a heater.
Well, there's the Shaw Heat Assist as well, but this one is not it.
But
I know, but in our price list,
It only shows the
heat. Yeah.
how many?
So that one's 220, 20.
The jet
amp.
mounter is 220, 20 amp, and this is 40 amp, so it's double.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it has 3 heaters in it.
Right.
I forgot that.
They've already purchased up to now 3 JM63 Pros. 4. Pardon me. So.
So the controls here, very simple.
Teflon coated pan.
The pan and these bars are Teflon
All
coated
Teflon coated.
For easy cleanup, anything that's black is Teflon coated, and that way you can just peel the coating
See,
right
it comes off. Yes.
All the liquids are circulated back into the tank, so there's very little waste at the end.
All right.
Really, very simple to use. This machine only runs one way, so the big key is just to make sure your product comes out nice and smooth, and that it's dry coming out. Really, that's it.
How about switching different coatings?
Switching different coatings takes only about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
You pump it out back into a bucket, pour some water, and pump that into a bucket, put the new coating in.
And that's how it cleans itself.
That's how I do it.
Very easy.
Great. All right.
Also used for giclée art. I don't know if it's a canvas. It may not be a market you're currently dealing with, but believe me, it will be very popular in your country as well. Giclée on canvas.
Interesting. Okay.
These are the excellent Optimum machines for that. And that's the only water-based inkjet application that will work with this. Otherwise, as Nate mentioned earlier, solvent.
Solvent. Okay.
What we were doing today was eco solvent. It's, I mean, the rule of thumb.
Solvent. It's more aggressive.
Yeah.
All right.
But if